Jill Dillard and the other older Duggar children have long been suspected by critics of the show of having a significant influence in the upbringing of the younger children. Michelle Duggar has previously discussed her buddy system, in which the eldest children take turns being buddies with one of the younger ones. This came in particularly handy for families going out in public, as it kept the little ones from being lost. This may have escalated beyond the brothers' friendship or mutual protection, according to a recently discovered video clip. According to the clip, there were occasions when Jim, Bob, and Michelle weren't around, so Jill Dillard might have had to take on the role of their mother for her siblings. So, what exactly is seen in the video? How does this shed light on Jim, Bob, and Michelle's parenting style? A video of Jill Dillard discussing how she corrected her siblings' behavior surfaced, and without a crystal ball's Katie Joy uploaded it on YouTube. Jinger Vuolo, Johannah Duggar, Jessa Seewald, and Jim, Bob, and Michelle's daughter are all standing next to each other. Jill does all the talking in this specific clip. Her younger sisters, Jordan, then 3 years old, and Josie, then 2 years old, were involved in an incident that she recounts. According to Jill, the girls returned from a tea party. The teacups and saucers they had brought home were hurled on the floor by them. It emerged that the little girls were unattended. Following her success in stopping Jordan and Josie, Jill describes her next steps in the video. The broken dishes were swept up by her and the little kids. Afterwards, she mentioned that they encountered problems and underwent a small adjustment. The girls did discipline and spank their siblings when their parents weren't there, Katie Joy notes, citing Jill's own statements. As Katie Joy points out, the Duggar family's religious practice of correction usually includes spanking. Famous for their reality show 19 Kids and Counting, the Duggar family has been the subject of both adulation and criticism for their outlandish ways of living, huge families, and strong religious convictions. Often portrayed as a doting elder sister and daughter, Jill Duggar Dillard has long been a major player in the public eye as the second eldest child of the Duggar family. A frequent question, however, has arisen over the years. Did Jill Duggar truly serve as a surrogate mother to her younger siblings? Jill has had a special place in the Duggar family, and her duties have been the subject of much scrutiny from viewers and relatives alike. Even though she was only a little girl at the time, Jill was frequently depicted as an independent and mature figure, capable of handling situations and duties that others would have thought were too big for her. Many have wondered whether Jill became a mother figure to her siblings because of her caring nature and the tremendous expectations her parents had of her. Here we will explore Jill's background, her connections to her siblings, and her function within the Duggar family. We will also look at the ways this position affected her life and reputation, as well as the criticisms she received for it. The Duggar family, their origins and early lives. A member of the enormous Duggar family, Jill Duggar came into this world on May 17, 1991, to parents Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar. She was the second oldest child and the center of attention the whole time. She was instrumental in the upbringing of her younger siblings and helped out with household chores. As her parents continued to have more children, Jill and her older brother Josh were both expected to shoulder a significant amount of responsibility as they grew up in a large family of 19. Even as a little girl, Jill began to shoulder responsibilities often reserved for an older sibling or even a second mother. It was customary for the older children to pitch in and help take care of the younger ones in the Duggar household, and Jill was an obvious pick because of her reputation for being a responsible and nurturing person. As a teenager, she helped out around the house, babysat her younger siblings, and was there for her parents when they needed someone to talk to. Jill was often portrayed as a little mother figure to her siblings in interviews and family portrayals. As the Duggar family became famous and the responsibilities of their reality show 19 Kids and Counting rose, she was assigned the responsibility of helping to manage the family's daily routine. Many, both fans and critics, began to wonder if Jill was being given the freedom to be a child or if she was being forced into a motherly position too young as the family's fame and fortune increased. The importance of an adoptive big sister. Even though Jill's role as a parent to her siblings began to expand, the title of mother was never formally bestowed upon her. But there was no denying the parallels between her function and that of a mother. As far as her siblings were concerned, Jill was the main breadwinner and rock. The family dynamic relied on Jill's presence for a variety of reasons, including providing comfort, aiding with mundane chores like cooking, and serving as a confidant. As an example, Jill would often be seen helping out around the house and watching the younger siblings when their parents were out of the house during the first few seasons of 19 Kids and Counting. She was the go-getter in the kitchen, getting her brothers ready for school and pitching in with homeschooling, which played a big role in the Duggar family's parenting style. Many viewers remarked on how grown-up Jill seemed, especially when she took on the motherly role. A defining aspect of Jill's childhood was her position as an elder sister and helper, which presented her with its own set of difficulties. The demands placed on Jill to uphold the ideal of an obedient, responsible daughter intensified as the family's reputation in the public eye expanded. She was required to maintain the family's principles of humility, self-control, and selflessness. Therefore, Jill's identity was frequently molded by the expectations of her family position. Effects of Jill's position on her personal growth. There's little doubt that Jill's position in the family shaped who she became. Many would say that she was put in charge at a young age, which was excessive for someone her age. According to the traditional beliefs of the Duggar family, which frequently prioritized family over all else, Jill was considered as a crucial support system for the family. But as she became older, the stresses brought on by her early responsibilities became more apparent. Jill started to wonder how big of a part she played in the family as she grew older. She had a lot of affection for her siblings, although she sometimes wished she could be more independent. After marrying Dillard in 2014 and breaking away from her family to start a new life together, her yearning for independence grew stronger. In part, Jill wanted to escape the heavy burden of motherhood that she had carried for so long, so she decided to create a family of her own and become a nurse. Nevertheless, there were difficulties associated with this change. As Jill and her husband deviated from some of the Duggar family's traditional beliefs, tensions rose in her relationships with her parents and siblings. There was tension in Jill's family relationships as she became increasingly self-reliant. Some of her siblings worried that she was alienating the same people who had depended on her. Did Jill play an unfair role in the controversy? The fact that Jill's position within the Duggar family may have hindered her capacity to live a typical life is one of the most important charges leveled against her. Growing up, Jill had a lot of responsibilities beyond that of a sister. She was supposed to help out around the house, take care of her parents and brothers, and be there for them whenever they needed her. Some could say that having to play this part as a child made Jill stronger and more capable, while others would think it was unfair. Many have raised the possibility that Jill's self-development and autonomy were hampered by her position as a second mother. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar may have unintentionally restricted her chances to pursue her hobbies and ambitions by making her a babysitter. Jill grew up in a family that prioritized the needs of its members, including her siblings, to the exclusion of her own aspirations and ambitions. Since Jill and Derek have been trying to carve out their own space in the world, this disparity has grown more glaring. A schism has opened up between Jill and her parents over her rejection of parts of the Duggar family's teachings, but her supporters are rallying behind her as she bravely defies the conventional expectations imposed on her. The path to self-sufficiency for Jill. Jill Duggar Dillard is still forging her own route in life. She has made efforts to build a family and a life apart from the Duggars with the help of her husband, Derek. Independence has given Jill the freedom to discover herself apart from the mother expectations that were imposed on her during her upbringing and her role in the family. Growing up in a household that prioritizes duty and tradition over all else can be quite challenging, as Jill's tale demonstrates. She may have been like a mother to her siblings, but Jill is seizing the opportunity to be herself today. Whatever her stance on sharing personal details with her audience may be, one thing is certain. Jill Duggar Dillard is now more than simply the mother of her siblings. She is a powerful woman who can shape her own future.